Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be testing out the Olivia Hale BB cream from Home Bargains. I wish I could tell you how much it was. I think it was £3, but I can't find it online. I did my skincare a little while ago, so I am going to spritz a little bit of priming spray. I really like these sprays specifically because I don't want to put on another layer of moisturiser, especially if I'm going to use something like a BB cream, something that feels kind of a little bit, or usually, I don't know yet, I haven't even opened it, usually kind of feels a bit moisturisery. I am oily, I don't like to add more underneath unless I absolutely need to. I also don't prime all that much, but I find a little spritz of a priming spray just adds a little bit of hydration before I apply things, because I do tend to get a little bit of dryness around my nose and I have got fine lines and things like that. So this is kind of the optimum prep for me. I did some skincare earlier on today and I'm kind of freshening up my skin just before application of the base. I have a few different priming sprays that I like to use. This is the one I'm using at the moment from Primark. Really enjoying it, and probably just as much as the one that I first found from Urban Decay, this quick fix. If you are interested, I will do a video on kind of spritzers and things and how I like them, because I feel like people don't talk very much about kind of spritzers and things unless it's like a really hardcore setting mist. So yeah, let me know. So I'm gonna whack this on with my hands because a BB cream, in my mind, that's how it's supposed to be applied. This is too deep for me. I think this was the lightest shade that I could find in store, and it is not particularly light. It's also not blending incredibly well. I'm having to use quite a bit of product. And to say that I am applying it with my hands as well, usually the heat of your fingertips will help a product blend a little bit better. It's kind of getting on there, but I definitely don't think a small amount could be stretched for the whole face. I'm going to use, most annoying, I know. I'm going to use a beauty blender. This is just dry, just to go back over and blend any areas I might have missed and any streaks that I might have created. Not sure if this will show up on camera, but around here particularly, it's very dry. And it kind of gathered around my eyebrows. Definitely not as hydrating as I was expecting it to be, but the finish is not terrible. It has slightly gathered into my pores, but it is just a thicker formula than I thought it was going to be. You never really know with a BB cream, because an original kind of Asian BB cream would have been more like a foundation, definitely a heavier coverage. Whereas more what we're used to, like a Western BB cream, is kind of like a tinted moisturiser. They've taken something and they've made it something completely different. So the term BB doesn't really mean anything. But you definitely have an idea, an expectation in mind one way or another. And because this is from a low cost brand, I definitely expected it to err on the side of tinted moisturiser, whereas we've gone a much heavier route. You can definitely still see through to my skin. I can still see my pigmentation, so it's not heavy, but it's a medium coverage, I would say, and although it's too deep for me, it's blended out quite nicely. It's not like, wow, oh my god, that's crazy. I just need to bronze up my neck a little bit. And the finish is very, very nice. So I'm gonna put on just a tiny bit of concealer, maybe some blush, some mascara. I'm using the Radiant Concealer from Lacura, which is the AUDIBLE brand. Just a very small amount in the corners of my eyes to brighten. Glossier Cloud Paint, because it's my current go-to cream cheek colour. This one gives a really nice kind of translucent glow. And my favourite Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara. Just gonna check, because we're like a couple of minutes in, whether or not it's settled under my eyes, because that is often an issue. I'm just gonna kind of go back under to make sure before I powder, which I don't do all the time, but I feel like as I do more and more of these reviews, because I don't powder often, and I like to see what a foundation can do by itself, but I realise that most people powder, and we might want to see with and without, and so I'm going to do half my face. And this is the Morphe Filter Effect Finishing Powder. It's a really, really finely milled powder. It's almost like one of those HD powders, but it's pressed. And I'm just going to put it, these are the areas that I would usually do, so kind of like where my lines are. I have lines here, and I have one there, and just kind of the centre of my face. See if I can powder half my nose. Again, I'm not sure, I probably won't know until I come to edit this, what you can actually see. But in the mirror I can definitely see where it's kind of sunken into some pores here, and it's very dry now, obviously because I powdered as well around there and kind of up here as well. That said, I'm super nitpicking. Like, looking in the mirror from this distance, I love it. It's comparable with a lot of much more expensive base products that I've tried. So this is the non-powdered side. This is, should I take you to a brighter light? It's a very grey day today. Let's go to some natural sunlight by the window. That's better, isn't it? Right, so this is the powdered side, obviously just down the centre of my face where I tend to get particularly oily, just to set it a little bit. And then this is the unpowdered side, so this is just the foundation on its own. I think it's really, really nice. This was very unexpected. I thought, especially when I put it on and it was like, oh wow, this colour is not right. I didn't think it was gonna look this nice. I'm just gonna put on some lip gloss so my mouth doesn't disappear completely. I've got some editing to do today, some housework, not a lot of out of the house stuff, but school run things, and I'll probably go for my walk. So I will check in with you later on today to see how this is lasting. It is 8:30. We'll give it about 7 hours. One of those like bright but not sunny days, and I'm like, but I feel like being outside is going to give you the best possible look at this foundation. So it is 2 o'clock. Get you in some direct sunlight. Honestly, I am going to have to look at this on the computer before I tell you what I think, because I can't see a thing. There is still some drying. I mean, I wasn't going to get less dry, was it? But there's still some dryness kind of around my nose. But this is going well, I think, to say that I really was expecting very, very little when I first put it on my face. I just looked at this in the mirror, and given this is the lighting I'm dealing with, I was like, it looks okay, you know, I'm quite happy with this. I think this looks pretty good. Then I put those clips on the computer to look at. In any light, no matter how bright, even my ring light, everything, I cannot see in the mirror what I can see on that camera. It's crazy. But in that direct sunlight outside, you could get all of the little bits that were just kind of like sitting on my skin. It looked terrible. And I swear to you, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, it looks fine. At most, here, it kind of looks like it's sitting on the skin and it's kind of smearing around. And obviously it's oily. I'm getting really close to this mirror and I cannot see, in reality, what I can see through this lens. I actually think the powdered side looks quite nice in terms of finish. It doesn't look too oily. It looks quite even still. I really don't know what to tell you, because ultimately, the average person is not going to be put under a microscope. It's not a microscope, but you're not going to be put under like a really, really, really close lens. But I think it's going to be one of those products, a little bit like those HD powders that are full of glitter, where it looks great in the mirror, and as long as it's low light, a little bit cloud, it's not too bad. As soon as you get out into direct sunlight, it's like, oh my God, every single flaw. So maybe as an evening foundation or an evening base that's not too heavy, this might not be too bad, but I wouldn't, as much as I like this and as much as I like the way it looks in the mirror. I mean, obviously the colour match wasn't great for me, so I maybe wouldn't wear it again anyway. But as much as I actually do like how long it's lasted and how well it's lasted to the naked eye on my skin, I wouldn't wear this again in the daytime because I know what it might look like to other people. And I'm really disappointed because I thought this was going to be a win. I thought this was going to be a real shocker, an unexpected great find. But alas, I would love to hear from those of you who have tried this, who had different experiences to me especially, but just let me know if you've tried it, what you thought. And yeah, it's a miss, unfortunately. I will see you guys on Friday with some budget faves and fails. Bye!